Have you ever caught yourself thinking about someone so intensely, it almost felt like they could sense it? Like maybe, just maybe, they were thinking about you too? It's a feeling that's hard to explain, mysterious, emotional, and sometimes even haunting. But is there any truth to it? Can your thoughts reach someone else's heart without a single word being spoken? As a psychologist who has spent years studying the mind's connection to emotion, what I'm about to share may just change the way you think about love, memory, and invisible ties between people. Part 1. The psychological loop of thought projection. Let's start with something fascinating. The idea of thought projection. When you can't stop thinking about someone, your brain isn't just idly passing time. It's creating a psychological loop, a pattern of emotional focus that reinforces itself again and again. You see, the human brain is wired to seek emotional resolution. When something feels unfinished, a relationship, a moment, even a smile, your mind replays it like a song stuck on repeat. Not because you're weak, but because you're wired for connection. Now here's where it gets deeper. Our brains contain something called mirror neurons. They help us feel what others feel. They're why you flinch when someone else gets hurt, or why a loved one's pain can feel like your own. These neurons don't just respond to physical presence. They respond to emotional memory too. So when you think of someone intensely, especially someone emotionally significant, your brain is lighting up the same circuits it would if they were standing right in front of you. And in that moment, you don't just remember them, you emotionally re-experience them. This is why you might feel like they're with you, even if they're far away. It's not magic, it's psychology, and it's powerful. Part 2. The energy psychology theory. Now let's explore something that isn't always found in textbooks, but is deeply felt by so many. The idea that thoughts carry energy, and that energy can be felt by others. This is often called energy psychology. It's a field that studies how our thoughts and emotions might influence not only our own bodies, but possibly our connection to other people. You've probably felt it before. You think of someone you haven't spoken to in months, and suddenly they call or text. Coincidence? Maybe. But when it happens more than once, you begin to wonder, is there something else at play? Studies in empathic attunement show that some people are more emotionally sensitive. They can pick up on others' emotional states, even without speaking. These people often describe feeling linked to someone, as if an invisible thread is connecting them across distance. And while science hasn't fully mapped the mechanism, psychologists agree on one thing. When we form deep emotional bonds, we become more responsive to that person's energy, their moods, their silences, and yes, even their thoughts. This is especially true in romantic relationships or those marked by unresolved emotion. Because when something is left unsaid, our minds and hearts stay open, listening, wondering. So when you think about someone, is it possible they feel something too? Maybe not as a thought, but as a shift, a feeling they can't quite name. Some call it intuition. Some call it spiritual connection. But I call it a reminder that emotions have gravity, and the more intense the feeling, the more likely it is to pull someone else into its orbit. Part 3. Attachment styles and obsessive thinking. Now let's dig into something crucial, your attachment style. It's not just about how we connect with others, it's about how we feel when we're apart. Attachment theory, a fundamental concept in psychology, explains how our early relationships shape the way we think, feel, and behave in later ones. For people with an anxious attachment style, thoughts about a person can become an emotional spiral. You may find yourself obsessing over every glance, every word, wondering, are they thinking about me too? And it's not just curiosity, It's a deep need for reassurance that can feel almost overwhelming. You see, people with anxious attachment are wired to seek closeness, but sometimes that desire can turn into something more. An emotional loop, a need to know they're being thought of too. It's as if your mind becomes fixated on them, because in your subconscious, it's the only way to feel secure. And this is where the mind becomes a battleground. The more you think about them, the more your brain spins. It starts telling you, they must be thinking about you too, right? But here's the truth. Obsessive thinking can trap us. It's not that you're overreacting, it's that your attachment system is hyperactive. The need to know is just as powerful as the love itself, because in many ways you've conditioned yourself to seek validation through them. You want them to reflect back the love you've given. You need that mirror to feel whole. But here's the catch. The more you focus on what they're thinking, the less you focus on yourself. So the next time you find yourself wondering if they're thinking about you, ask yourself this: why do I need that answer? And how can I give myself the reassurance I'm seeking without needing it from someone else? Part 4. The unspoken truth. Sometimes you just feel them. Now here's something most people don't talk about. That eerie, quiet moment when you just feel someone. No message, no call, not even a memory, just a presence. You might be walking down the street, sipping your coffee or lying awake at night, and suddenly their face flashes in your mind. Your chest tightens. It's not just a thought. It's almost like they're there. As a psychologist, I've had countless people come to me with stories like these. I swear, I felt him thinking about me. She popped into my head for no reason, and then she called an hour later. Coincidence? Maybe, but there's something deeper happening beneath the surface. This is what we call emotional synchronicity. It's not about reading minds. It's about being so emotionally connected to someone that your internal rhythms, your emotional states, begin to sync. It's more common than you think, especially with people who share a deep emotional history, ex-lovers, soulmates, parents and children, people with unfinished stories. Why does this happen? Because your brain has tagged them as significant. Emotionally charged memories light up neural pathways in your brain, and sometimes, even without a trigger, those pathways ignite. And when they do, you feel them, as if they're whispering in a language only your heart understands. Now, here's the part that gives people chills. In many cases, when one person is deeply feeling the other person is experiencing emotional turbulence at that same time. You don't always know why, but you feel it. And later, something confirms it. So if you've ever felt that strange, silent pull towards someone, you're not imagining things. Sometimes human connection goes beyond logic. Sometimes, the heart remembers what the mind has tried to forget. Part 5. What you should ask yourself instead. Now let's pause the questions about them and ask one about you. Because sometimes when you can't stop thinking about someone, it's not always about whether they're thinking about you. It's about what your thoughts are trying to tell you. Ask yourself, what part of me feels unresolved? Am I truly missing them? Or am I missing the version of me I was when I was with them? Am I searching for closure? Or am I searching for permission to let go? So often we project our inner questions onto someone else's silence. We wait for signs, for validation, for meaning. But the real healing starts when we stop chasing thoughts and start exploring our own emotional landscape. Thinking about someone intensely can be a mirror. It reflects what you still carry: the longing, the pain, the hope, or the fear. And here's the truth most people avoid. Even if they are thinking about you, that may not change what you're truly searching for, which is peace within yourself. You see, love isn't always about what's mutual. It's also about what's meaningful. And sometimes the most powerful closure comes not from them thinking of you, but from you finally understanding yourself. Part 6. Bonus Psychology Fact. Before we wrap up, here's a mind-blowing fact from cognitive psychology that might change the way you see your own thoughts. Research shows that up to 90% of our daily thoughts are repetitive, meaning your brain cycles through the same worries, hopes, and memories again and again. So when you find yourself constantly thinking about someone, it's not necessarily because they're thinking of you. It's because your brain has created a pattern, a loop that it keeps running. This isn't a flaw. It's your brain's way of trying to solve a problem or make sense of an emotional puzzle. And here's the secret. You have the power to break that loop. By gently shifting your focus, practicing mindfulness, or redirecting your energy, you can give your mind the space it needs to heal. And maybe, just maybe, free yourself from endless wondering. Because sometimes the most important connection you need is the one you have with your own heart. So, are they thinking about you too? Maybe, maybe not. But the deeper question is, why are you thinking about them so much? Sometimes the answers we seek aren't out there. They're within us. And the journey to understanding begins the moment we turn our attention inward. If this video touched something deep inside you, please share your story in the comments below, and subscribe for more insights into the fascinating world of human psychology. Remember, the mind is powerful, and so are you. Thank you for watching.